Welcome back, everybody, to the Twin Chickens podcast. It is me, Artie Man, 50 million. We got Abino the Eagle somewhere here. Oh, actually, we got Clarice. Hey,
It's
how you doing?
me. Hey.
Yo, what is up?
Welcome to the show.
And Evan's in here too. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Excellent.
Que pasa? Awesome. Okay. Awesome. So, how I like to start the show is I like to show a clip. But before that, just a couple of house notes. If there's anything you guys want to send to us, obviously the tip link is always open. So in case you guys want to give a shout out or just want to send us videos, the tip link is down below. Go ahead and check that out. Honestly, anything helps. It goes straight to supporting the channel in every level. So just to throwing that out there. Apart from that, let's get started with this. We got our first clip, and hopefully it's a doozy. Cool. Clarice, real quick. Let's talk about you real quick because we don't. I know you a little bit, but I wish we spent more time.
Lying.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. So, what do you right now? What's your profession? What are you doing? What's life? Go from there.
I'm a tattoo artist. I've been doing it for almost a year and a half, but I always knew that I wanted to work in artwork.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that when you enter college and you tell them oh, I want to work in artwork, they push you towards graphic design, which is a super oversaturated community right now.
Absolutely.
And when you're oh no, I want to work with raw materials, there's well, you can't be a painter on the street, you'll starve. They don't
which is a myth.
Right. They don't tell you about other art forms that you could go into and still make money. And I think that's because with tattooing, it doesn't necessarily take a college degree. So anything that doesn't take a college degree, they're not necessarily going to promote to you.
Oh, absolutely.
So since tattooing is considered a trade, and trades are great.
Yeah.
If you go to college and you don't know what you want to do, explore some trades. It's super hands-on, and then you apprentice under somebody, you make up some hours, then you get a really nice paying job. I don't know if they all offer benefits.
Mm-hmm.
You know that some you can join the union, but I don't know all of that. That doesn't qualify for me. I take care of myself.
Right. Of course.
And then life is actually really great. I do a lot of the things that I want to do, and when I'm not tattooing all the time, which what my schedule consists of is getting up early to make it to my 10 a.m. appointment, and then all day I have tattoos, and the shop closes at 9, but that doesn't mean that we stop. So sometimes I'll be there till 10, 11 at night, and then I go home and I eat and take care of my animals, and then draw from 11 p.m. to 3 in the morning just for the next day.
That is the cycle that I'm trying to get to right now as well. It's just getting in this consistency of drawing, but you do it so that you can get in repetition for your business.
That's a little insane.
Yeah.
It is. And so if you're a client out there and you see me right now, that's why your drawings take so long, is because from 11, I work all day, and then from 11 p.m. till 3 a.m., it's just drawing for the next day.
Right.
And then it's just figuring out exactly what people want, because just because I draw that first thing and give it to them, they're not always yes, that's it. They want to make small tweaks, they want to try a different idea every once in a while, and it melts my brain.
Burnout.
Yeah, because they'll say, oh, actually, pitch that idea, let's do this instead.
Right.
Or, actually, that wasn't what I was imagining. Pitch that idea and, draw this instead.
Right.
It's kind of it kind of reminds me of when you're in line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for that person to check out.
They
need to dig through their coupons, or they forgot something, so they need to run back and bring it out. Or, on the shelf it said that this was, 2 for $5, but it doesn't ring up there. And so you got the cashier sitting there doing all this.
Right.
And everybody in the back is what the heck?
Yeah.
My clients, there are people that want drawings, but I have to deal with the recent people first.
Of course.
And I shouldn't call it dealing with, because, everybody's got an idea. I want to be able to capture exactly what you want. It's just that stuff takes time and energy
Right.
that I would have more of if I didn't have as many clients. So I'm, it's honestly a good problem.
Okay. So you're not overwhelmed. You're kind of like you're able to manage all of this. I mean, you've been doing it for a while, right? Like tattooing and all that stuff,
Just like 1.5 years. It's not a while.
All right. That's pretty good. I mean, but you got into this routine though, where you're able to consistently be able to, make appointments, not overwhelm yourself, but just always keep on this like, oh, I need to make this drawing, and I need to make sure this client is happy by this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you've got a tattoo appointment coming up and you scheduled with your artist like maybe a month ago, and it's been 2 weeks or it's a whole week before your appointment and you're like, hey, I don't know what's going on, I haven't heard from my artist, just keep in mind that you are not the only person that they have to take care of, and you just have to get them time, because I understand that we're artists, so you would think that drawing would come easily to us, but that's not necessarily the case.
Well, you're taking someone else's idea and expressing it, and you're trying to like make their ideas happy, but you have to somehow get into the mind of them, right?
Exactly. You have to sit and you have to talk to them, and even then I can't quite get into like the total mind of them. So you I may be an artist, but all that means is that I have the knowledge and the tools equipped to make it look good.
Right.
It still takes me hours to do it. I still have to draw out all my guidelines or hop on Google and find the perfect references, and all of that takes a lot of time.
Right. But it's a little heartbreaking when you have clients that are like, I'll make this tweak or something, when you already spend so much time working
Small
on something.
tweaks are okay. It's when I've spent all day drawing something that I felt got their message across, and also I thought would look super appealing as a tattoo.
Right.
And they say, no, pitch that. Pitch the entire thing.
Oy.
Small tweaks are cool. It's when I have to pitch the whole thing and start back at square one.
Does that happen often?
Every once in a while.
Okay, but it's not. So it's not a reoccurring thing. Like it happens. Okay.
And one of the other harder things is that, I understand that you have a vision, but I bet you 8 times out of 10 people are thinking about how it will look on paper and not how it will translate to your skin. And that's my job.
Exactly.
Is to look at your body a certain way, because our body's not a grid like paper is. It's a series of swirls.
Right, yeah.
Like our muscle tissue, and we're supposed to design things that will work with the way that your body flows.
Right, the contours of the human figure that, like, you can't just obviously... something as simple as like a rose or like a whale, putting it on a knuckle, just even that for me, just I could feel like that can go like have so many ideas for it. Obviously, like the size of it, the way you want it to wrap around. There's so many ideas. Just putting something very simple, just like on the knuckle of your finger.
And I'm not a fan of doing small roses at all. There are so many details within the rose that make it so beautiful and make it a rose.
Right.
So I prefer to do roses that are at least like half the palm of your hand or bigger, just so I can capture all of those. Yeah,
absolutely. That's very understandable. But so in terms of like tattooing, so would you say that this is like what you're meant to be doing in life, or what you want to be doing?
Probably, I don't know. I mean, when I stopped thinking about what's my purpose or what I'm meant to do, and I just kind of like went with the flow, I started to pay attention more to like what I was doing in college. So even though I had finished all of my art credits, and you can understand this, even though we had finished our art credits, we still actively chose to take one art class a semester. Yep. We found that we were happier within those art classes. Right. And, Century College specifically, I don't know if I can say their name.
Oh, yeah,
Is it a copyright thing?
No, we're good.
Century College specifically has like 101 clubs for everything under the moon.
Yeah.
So like join clubs, like make friends that are like in those groups, and like learn from them.
Right.
And there's a bunch of other fields that I'm sure I'd be happy doing, but I always choose to be doing art.
So are there other clubs that you found fun at Century?
Super Smash Bros. Club.
Oh yeah, that's always a good one.
Awesome.
which is now more than a club. We just talked to Kevin. We had Kevin on the podcast, and now he's evolved into this insanely other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to Advantage State where he hosts a tournament?
I have not. I've been to one tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, they used to throw me around. I am by far not the best Smash player, out there.
By the way, me too.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm playing, with friends or at home with family, I dominate. But then when I'm playing with actually competitive people, they think it's funny to, just grab me and throw me around. And I used to hate it. But, I mean, you have to surround yourself with people that are better than you in order to get better.
Absolutely.
So it's fine. I'll lose 1,000 times before I can win once.
That's actually part of my philosophy. For me, what I wanted to do with my art is I have such a vision for what I want to do, and I know my purpose in life, right? And obviously, to each their own. But for me, I have a friend who was very good at drawing anime figures and all that stuff, and I was a 90s kid growing up with anime and all that stuff, and I was really inspired one day to actually make my own manga and all that kind of good stuff. So that's what I want to do. But he is gifted by the hand of God.
I know, right? There are just some people that pick up a pencil and they just it kind of reminds me of anime. I've never have I ever seen personally someone constantly putting the hours and being trash at anime and then being good. Every time I see somebody drawing anime, they're just good at it.
Yeah. And for me, I always thought it's a pursuit interest. Any talent is a pursuit interest that you just got to keep doing. But there's some people that cut that time in half, and those are
so
prodigies.
Natural.
Exactly. And that's where I'm up against. I always saw him as my rival, which I want to have him on the podcast because I always saw that if I can get my art to be at least this good, and how do I make sure that how can I deconstruct things? And because of my swirl of going into this madness of how to understand this person, it actually made me grow into an artist and push myself so much further than I would have ever gone by myself. You know what I mean? But he's one of the people who has always challenged me in terms of art, in terms of just growing as an artist. But I don't know many other people that do that, that just would push me in any other form. I don't know many other people that that paint or that make music or all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck in this one field, but it's fine because that's what I want to be doing. You know what I mean?
And it's super cool to see people excel at one certain thing, especially whether it's an art medium or music. Have you do you have a medium or a style of art that you excel at or feel you're really excited to always be doing?
I don't necessarily have a style, and I don't know if it's because growing up I didn't quite draw nonstop like some people do in order to get those styles, or sit on Tumblr or sit on Instagram and copy off of references. I always tried to do things out of my head.
That's really cool.
So a lot more organic stuff, which I didn't think was as cool as somebody who was able to draw a whole character with a scenery in the background and make it super clean. I thought my stuff was bare minimum or super simple compared to that. And it was slightly discouraging because to where you felt, oh man, I want to be as good as that person. I didn't get that until I started tattooing. I was just kind of oh man, look at me and look at them. And then it was discouraging, which is why for a lot of people art is so hard. It's because they don't have, they're easily discouraged by people who have put more time into it than them.
Right.
And they just don't have that discipline to keep going when things don't quite look right on the paper. They're just kind of oh, this isn't going the way I want, and then they throw it away and do something else.
Yeah, and that's what the whole philosophy of, if you remember Drawing Club, the whole thing of it was just to keep exploring your creativity in that time. So it's a time for you guys to just come and explore, but you get to see everyone's on a different level, obviously, in art class.
Yeah, I remember that kid that always drew dinosaurs, and he was really, really cool at it.
That was the coolest thing.
Only thing that he drew was T-Rexes. But going back to your question, I don't have a style. But, I mean, I just feel I can explore and do everything. I think it's cool that tattoo artists have a style that they are specific to and they're super good at it. But then it makes me wonder if they're ever curious about, trying other things. So I definitely have favorites. I really enjoy doing, American traditional, neo-traditional, and trash polka.
Okay.
And realism is, not my favorite. It's cool.
Right.
But if you're just doing a realistic lion or a realistic tiger or a realistic flower, it just is what it is. It doesn't quite leave your mind
until you put a spin on that, right?
the ability to wander. But
Yeah.
I've seen realism artists who like take all of these different elements and they arrange it, but give it all a realistic aspect, and then you can try and like think. You know, it kind of opens your mind a little bit.
That is cool.
That's everything that I learned in college, and like when I went to Mankato, I've never had my mind open more than like when I took a sculpture class for the weirdest reasons. I don't know why, but like it really. It took me as like to understand abstract art and how to connect things in like the most profound way, and then from there I was able to learn how to deconstruct anything, and then just work my way back. But it really comes from the intelligence of people. So I always go from like, you could obviously accomplish anything, but like for me, I just want knowledge. I just need knowledge.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I try to accrue as much knowledge as possible in one day, and to try to get as far as I can.
Yeah, I just want you to know that you took that sculpturing class because art. We do it in the name of art.
In the name of art.
If it's art, we just do it. Like I did ceramics and I hated it, but art.
But for art. And not to go too far of a tangent, but for me, there is a sacrifice when it comes to this kind of stuff. Whether it's your personal time, and for me, it's my health. There was a thing that I was drawing. I was drawing a little anime chick, and I finally finished it, but I didn't know that I was putting my back under so much pressure.
Yeah.
You know, and I just didn't know about taking breaks, but it just kept playing in my mind. I need to do this, and I have to finish this. I want to be better. I want to do this. And, you know, the madness starts sinking in, but then also all of this other health-related items.
Stuff, yeah.
Exactly.
Especially like
We're
when you're
getting
staying
old.
up till like 3 a.m.
And then
Are you
getting
getting
up
enough
at
sleep?
9.
Yeah.
Do you
sleep
take
enough?
time for yourself to have like days off?
I don't tattoo on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
That's good. I'm glad
That's
you
very
have
good.
at
Okay,
least some
good.
time to breathe.
At least you have some time.
I know. So, I mean, one thing that my mentors told me, like, the 3 most important things you can, like, as an artist, I don't know if it applies to all art, but definitely to tattooing, like, your bed, your back, and your retirement plan.
Yep.
To, like,
I've never heard of that, but that definitely
spend all
makes
the money
sense.
on a bed. Befriend a chiropractor,
Yep.
especially while you're young, because, you know, he'll be able to keep you in the game longer.
And that's where I'm at right now. I'm actually trying to treat my back and this happened last year. And like I said, art is a sacrifice, and it's more of like putting blood, sweat, and tears into this one thing. But yeah, I'm at that point where now I have to use like a certain exercise to get my back feeling right so I can go to sleep. But I did all of that in the name just to get one thing out. But now I know, like, for the next time, I wish, you know, these are things that, like, I wish people had told me, but I'm figuring all this stuff out as I go. But it really is a sacrifice just to put everything out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy stuff. But for you, my guy,
Definitely
obviously,
the dedication. Like when you have something you want to do, you just put all your time towards it. And it's sometimes discouraging. Like even this week, while I'm preparing for this Thursday, this is the first time I'm going to be doing 6 hours straight of performing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting just to be able to, of all the last 7 weeks of practicing 6 to 8-ish hours a day is a lot, and it really takes a toll, especially as I'm trying to wind down band stuff and I guess leave so I can actually have a break and have days off. It gets gruesome where I'm not sleeping enough.
Yeah.
Only getting maybe like 6 hours of sleep, but I need a consistent like 9 or 10 hours to function. And it really sucks when you can't like have time to eat food or like fuck, it's always go going to the next thing.
Right.
It takes a toll.
And for me, that's kind of where I'm trying to get at right now, since I have my own business, right? So I run a construction company. That's how I'm able to like get all this crap.
You do all that and do art?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I'm mad. I'm probably the most insane person you will ever meet.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Like terrifying. But this is what I do, right? So I work from 7 to 4, right? Just lifting things, painting houses, flipping houses left and right. And then I get home and then I work on my other project. Like I was just telling your brother, I just released a song yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like I put in just 2 hours of work, and like that whiteboard over there used to be filled with like my whole schedule. It's actually now there's one over here that's like a more condensed version. But the main thing is, I would do like at least I try to do 2-hour drawings.
Yeah.
30-minute exercises of just like myself, my own health. And then just if I have a project, that's my other focus would be on that project. My focus has been making that music.
I don't know how you spread your mind like that, because I can't, when I pull out my drawing stuff, as much as I want to draw for myself, there's always that little like voice in the back of my head that's like, you have clients you need to draw for. You have clients you need to draw for. You have
a
clients
responsibility.
You need to
That's the thing.
Like,
but I'm the same way. I have a house to flip, and that takes priority number one first. My focus is that, but your focus is set in the right place. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I get that you want to draw for yourself, but right now your focus is that, because that's where it is.
I just feel like I would be closer to like whatever my style might be. Right. But I know that there's artists out there that don't have a style. They're just versatile and can do everything, which if that's what I do, that's what I do. It's fine. It's just I'm so jealous of people that like when people look at their work and they're like, oh, I know that artist, or like, oh, that's like
I'm just like that too. Yeah.
Like I recognize it, whereas you couldn't tell my work from anybody other tattoo artist's work.
Right.
Like it's cool, like it looks good, but no one would ever say like, oh, that's Clarice's work, unless they saw it on my portfolio and they're like, oh, I recognize that from already seeing it.
Apart from the tattoos that you've already had or put on people.
Yeah, right.
See, that's my kind of struggle as well, is that I want to be known for anything. And I started my own Instagram, but like it's I do so many things apart from drawing, you know what I mean? So it's like trying to make myself to one thing is impossible. This is what I told Evan, is like I have this philosophy called the master of one philosophy, where I'm never going to be good at anything ever. I will never be good at guitar, like as good as like obviously legends obviously is what I'm referring to. I won't be good at piano or painting or drawing, but as long as I'm content with where I'm at and how I know how I can push myself, I can at least get to reach my own maximum potential, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there is a beauty in it though, because there especially in the music industry, those artists that are their own singer-songwriter producers get more notice than other people. Like people that are artists that are more versed in multiple things definitely get like the same attention as people who like are well known in one thing. So you're good.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I haven't gotten any. The only compliment I've ever gotten with my art was my 3-year-old sister had said, "I like your fish." I was drawing a fish at the time. I'm like, "Thank you." You know what I mean? So I don't know if any of my stuff is good.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have any feedback on anything.
You need to pay more attention to your people, because I remember in college when I'd open up your sketchbook and my face would light up because I'd be like, "Wow, this is crazy."
Yeah. Well, I hope so. That's the thing. Is like I'm also very old. Keep that in mind. I'm losing my mind. I can't think past like a certain time.
You're not old.
And I think sanity would also
My mom's
pay.
61 and she's not old.
I mean,
absolutely.
I guess old is a construct. It's a misdemeanor construct. For me, I feel like I'm dying. Let's put it that way.
You haven't even reached your peak yet. I thought our peak was was it like somewhere in our 40s, I read in a class one time. Believe it or not. I mean, it may not feel that way physically, but I think that if we like exercise more, then we might feel like that. I try and take the stairs, but I still get like winded when I make it to the 3rd floor. I know I have to sit sometimes. I'm like, but I take the stairs because I want to be fit and I don't want to take the elevator. So
it's dedication. It's like a mindset to want to be healthy and live young and just be the best you can be.
Yeah, and they say that like you're also supposed to park at like the end of the parking lot and
That's
walk
what
up.
she did.
That's what my dad taught me. So I used to park.
You're a devil for doing that for so
the
long.
end of the Century lot every fucking
I had a
day.
broken ankle, and he would park on the other side to make me walk.
Yeah, and I think older people do it so that idiots don't like scratch their car.
That makes sense.
And I would, but like Rockstar parking.
Yeah, of course.
I love Rockstar parking. It's a sport in my family to get like Rockstar parking.
Which is like right front and center.
Right in front. The closer you can get, the better.
Yeah.
I'll sit there with my turn signal on and wait for you to get out. I don't care who you're texting. Like, I'll wait. I won't honk. I'll just sit there and I'll stare at you through your rearview mirror. Like, yeah, I'm waiting on you.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You better move.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Oh, well, this has been a pretty good topic. Let's move on to another little clip, and then we'll go from there. I think I can't see. I left my glasses in my dad's house, so I'm very blind. So
that might be one.
I want to say, oh yeah, this one.
It starts. Is that a hairpiece or a Brillo
Yeah,
pad?
I think he had a little toupee. How cute.
Whose head is that small?
I don't know. I think
That poor dog.
That poor dog. Do
He
you have
looks
any?
like one of those naked cats.
Yeah,
Reminds
Terrible.
me of Danny DeVito wearing that toupee in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, honestly. Do you have any pets? You said you did?
Yeah. I have a guinea pig and I have a snake.
Oh, I think I saw the guinea pig on your Snapchat one time.
Probably.
But not the snake.
Your snake was
Really?
very cool though.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that one time.
He used to be like, he used to fit in the palm of my hand, and now he's like 6.5 feet. Yeah.
Jesus. What kind of snake is it?
He's a ghost red-tailed boa, and people were like, oh, like, isn't he too big for you? But I mean, I've had him for 8 years, and I like grew with him, so he's, I don't know.
Ghost ray what?
He doesn't feel any bigger. Ghost red-tailed boa.
Oh,
So,
okay.
red-tailed boa is the species, brand, whatever they are.
Sure.
But ghost just means that his like color is basically drained. So
Okay.
he's not, instead of being like a rich dark brown color, he's like a lighter brown.
Okay.
And then normally their tails would be like kind of a reddish brown color, but his is just brown.
Did you get him as an egg?
Not an egg. I mean, I got him as a little guy, and when he was kind of a challenge to me because when I got him, the lady took him out so I could hold him, and like
Right.
he bit her 3 times, and I was like, that's it, that's my boy.
What? Why?
I'm gonna tame that boy.
I have a fear of snakes, just so you.
It's okay. Most people do. It's a natural fear. But like, here's
Yeah.
my thought process. Like,
Right.
because if somebody breaks into my house,
Yeah.
I just take him out. I throw him in the hallway. I shut the door. And if you were a burglar, if you saw a 6.5 foot snake on the floor, wouldn't you turn around and be like, "This isn't the house"?
Yeah.
This is not the place
I
to
would
be.
book it. I would definitely book it.
Right.
Jesus.
He's
That's a solid plan.
He's my guard snake.
Has it
I like
worked?
Huh?
Has it worked?
Nobody breaks into my house
Maybe because they
because they know he exists. I post him all over Facebook. I'm like, "This is my boy. Don't mess with me."
I'm so
Think
terrified.
twice.
Well, has he ever bit you before?
Oh yeah, can't have a dog and not get
Bit
bit.
you too?
Not have a cat and not get scratched. Like, he hasn't bit me at his size because it's just in his nature. It like
Right.
boas tend to be really nippy when they're little, but as they grow up, they become a lot more mellow.
Are there any? Is it boa constrictor?
Yeah.
Are there any boas that are like poisonous or venomous? I should say.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't even know a python that's venomous. What?
Ball python.
Ball pythons?
Ball python, yeah.
They're not venomous.
If you have a large enough one.
They're not venomous.
There's a couple.
I mean,
Oh, huh.
vipers are typically
Vipers, rattlers,
venomous. Rattlesnakes.
cobras.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Cobras are venomous.
I'm terrified.
I don't know if
Horn in the name, usually it's venomous.
Jeez.
I don't know if black mambas are.
Black mamas are definitely venomous. They're fast as shit.
Kill Bill.
You sound very confident in your knowledge.
I was.
I know that
Did you
they're
ever
in
say-
Kill Bill, but yeah.
I had one who died.
Ah.
His name was Amos. I was too young when I first tried to
Right.
take
Dang.
care of him.
But what was the question?
Snakes.
I was just asking if they were venomous.
Oh,
at all,
if
but
no, if he's bitten me. Going
Oh,
back to
yeah.
that. So there's 2 types of bites. There's like when they're trying to kill and eat was when they bite and they wrap around. He's never done that. And then there's something that like the snake community calls tags.
Okay.
And tags are kind of like warning strikes. They're kind of either you're too close or I don't want to be handled right now.
Uh-huh.
Just those kinds of things. And that's only what he's done. So, and those tags have kind of helped me understand when it's a good time to fuck with him.
Well, isn't it like kind of like any other person, right? Like like in this mentality, because like I know for me personally, like I don't like people like talking to me outside of like anywhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically like that. Like when he doesn't want to deal with people, and
Yeah.
because he doesn't talk, and he just has like body language. You know, if you see that he's coiled back, that means like I don't want to do this right now. Like please don't touch me. And I noticed that he does that when he's surprised. So he doesn't like cell phones. He's bitten my cell phone like twice.
Is it just the brightness or does
He
it
just
emit
doesn't
a noise?
like the camera. I don't know what it is. I don't even put flash in his face. He just does not like the phone in his face. There's something about the phone. I don't know if
Maybe
it's...
a reflective surface, possibly.
He's fine seeing himself in the mirror. It's just the phone. He just
Weird.
doesn't. He
Fascinating.
does not like the phone at
Wow.
all. So
Okay.
I don't do like pictures of him or with him, unless we take selfies where he can like see the screen and himself, then he's okay with it. But something about the back of the phone with the little camera in it bugs him.
And if you turned it around, like if you did one of these, you know?
Yeah, then he's okay with
Do you
it.
think it could
Right.
be like the camera lens itself looks like an eye?
Could be. Like he
this?
thinks it's another animal. Could totally be.
What if you
Could
had like
totally
a Canon,
be.
like one of those like big ones, you know? Like that.
I
big
haven't tried that.
That'd be
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
A massive eye. He's like, oh.
What
There
kind
were
of
moments
reptilian bastard is
He when he was little, he escaped his tank. Like he didn't even really escape. Like I used to take him out and forget that he was out. So sometimes I'll pop the top open so he can just kind of sit and chill on top. And one
Right.
time he crawled under it, and I was like, "Oh man, I left him out. I don't know where he is." And I saw him underneath, so I went in to go pick him up without like any kind of warning or letting him know like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like-
pick you up. And he just like tagged. He was like, "Whoa, you shocked me. Like you surprised me. Like
Right.
don't come at me so fast." Which, I mean, in a sense, people are the same way. Like, if you're out in public with somebody and then you run at them or, you know, do one of these flinches,
Yeah.
they're going to hit you.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
They're going to hit you, you know? And he also doesn't like to be picked up at night. Like, he's tagged me one time when I was having a party. And when guys come over to my house, they always want to pick him up. I don't know what it is.
I would never want to pick that thing up.
It's definitely a power thing. They're like, "Oh, he feels good in my hand." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's all muscle. He's dense." But
Yeah.
we were at a house party, and I kind of felt like a badass because I was going in to pick him up and he tagged me. And I washed my hands and I picked him up and I was like, "Here, you want to hold him?" And they were like, "He just bit you." And I was like, "Yeah, like, do you want to hold him?"
Right.
And they're like,
Oh my God.
"Nah, maybe next time. We're good." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I think that they kind of like
Yeah.
my respect level just kind of went
Went
up a little bit because they're like,
I mean, for me, it
that
definitely
guy
has
just
now.
bit her, and she still went in and picked him up,
Yeah.
like washed her hands and pretended like it didn't happen.
What a bad eye.
And so when he
Right?
does the tag, it doesn't go into your skin, right? It's just kind of like more of
No.
like this little play thing, like boom, kind of stuff.
Sorta. I mean,
Yeah.
you get like 2 dots.
Just a little nip, but it's not like has he sunk his teeth like
No,
into you to
never.
Gotcha.
I've seen videos of like people where the snake did bite and then try and latch, but like there's ways around that. Like, you know, handling him and getting him used to. If you're not sure if he wants to be handled, like put hand sanitizer in your hand so he knows like, ooh, like I don't want to put my mouth on that.
Okay.
And then just kind of like doing little things to let him know that it's you. Like I'll like talk to him. I'll, you know, kind of like maybe I'll clean his space up a little bit before I actually pick him up so he knows like, oh, this is my handler.
Right.
Yeah.
Just little signals.
And he's gotten pretty close to you, right? Where like now it's like if anybody else tried to do that, he would not take, like he wouldn't know the routine. Or they wouldn't know the routine to even
He
get
can
closer.
definitely tell when it's me versus somebody else. Like if somebody's holding him, like when I'm holding him, he kind of wraps around me and sits. Whereas if somebody else is holding him, he's looking for me. Like his body's on them, but his head is like looking for
And
me.
what happens when he finds you? Does he immediately go try to go toward you?
Yeah, like if I put my hand out, he'll wrap around and find his way around me and he'll just sit.
Oh my god.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's a smell thing, like a recognize. I don't know if it's
Probably.
a vibe thing. Because, you know, if there's somebody that's tense and they can pick up on your vibes. So if you're sitting there and you're tense, like he's going to feel like, oh, this is like a weird tree. This tree feels weird. But then with me, because I'm used to him and I'm just kind of lax, he's like, all right, like I'm just going to relax.
That's the
That's
scariest
super cool
thing.
how like animals can correlate to like just body body language and just how you carry yourself. So if like you're relaxing or he's maybe had a I don't know, rough day,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
pick up on that or chill out.
And
Yeah.
just like every other animal, keeping them on a routine is super important as well. So, like, you know, if you're not sure, if your snake is big and you're not sure if he's going to, like mistake you for food or whatever, like, have a designated feeding day. Like, on Tuesdays, I feed my snake. You can catch me at Twin Cities Reptile.
Hey,
But on Tuesday, I feed him, and on feeding day, I don't stick my hands in his tank for any reason except to feed him.
right.
That's it. So that's his day.
That's good.
I do the same thing with my
Consistency.
Chihuahua or my old Chihuahua. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But
Go for
so do you remember Chloe?
it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
she's still alive. It's a little white Chihuahua. It's like a little white wolf.
Cute.
Yeah, she's adorable. But we have this rule that like if we feed her, we cannot be anywhere near her.
Yeah.
Because she'll feel threatened, and that's happened. It's strange because like my stepdad, it was a therapy dog for my stepdad before he passed, and like he would feed her, and then she would just have the trust where like he could like play around with her food, but it was just with him. Anybody else though, if you like tried to like, oh sorry, that was the wrong snack to give you, she would immediately murder.
Yeah.
Like murder on my mind kind of stuff. It's insane.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that was a thing, and now it's like she currently Chloe lives with my sister, and obviously my sister has now a baby, so he's like a little I want to say 7. No, he's a year now. He's a year and a half.
Happy birthday.
That's crazy. So it just hit me. Yeah, he's a little guy. Anyway, yeah, we try to have him like as far away as possible, so he doesn't get like anywhere near her, so that they build the trust and all that stuff. But yeah, crazy little things. Like for me, animals, I've always wanted a hedgehog for like the longest time. But I found out
still get one.
they're nocturnal though,
I suppose.
and I don't sleep.
Perfect.
I should rephrase that. I want to sleep.
You want to sleep,
hard.
but it's difficult having a pet that would keep you up.
See, that's my one thing. And then apart from that, I've always wanted either a husky or like kind of like one of these like corgis.
Oh, so you really don't want to sleep.
Like at all.
The huskies are vocal.
I feel like I just can't anymore. But
Sleep?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what I do, like I got turned on to this thing now because like Delta 8 is like a new thing with gummies and stuff. So what I would do, my buddy Yoshi, my bassist for my band, turned me on to these Delta 8 gummies, which is like the best thing in the world. I do a little bit of that. I start spinning, and then I do 2 gummies after that, 2 melatonin gummies, and I just...
You're able to sleep and
The
conk
Delta
out.
8, best shit in the world.
Best hit in
That's
the world.
that weak shit.
Yeah. And for me, obviously, I don't smoke weed or anything like that, but like that is like the coolest thing for me. I feel like I'm finally sleeping where I'm supposed to be sleeping at. So
That's really good.
yeah.
That's good.
I
In a
was like-
sense, though, is it kind of like alarming or concerning that you like need
Yeah,
those drugs to be able to sleep?
absolutely. If I
Yeah.
go anywhere else, like if I go to my dad's house, and obviously they let me sleep on the couch. I've always had terrible sleeping conditions too, and that's obviously hasn't helped. It's hard to be just relaxed, and for me, my mind before that would just be spinning of all these like terrible negative thoughts, and I'm like I have so much hate in my heart that I just try to get rid of that as much as possible, So it honestly, it just needed something to shut my mind up, and the Delta 8 did it. That's good.
That's
really
nice.
interesting.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess if you didn't have so much emotion, your art wouldn't be as good as it is.
I hope so. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I do put a lot of like tears into that stuff too, just to make it work.
But isn't that fascinating? Sometimes finding those artists that like, whether it maybe just going cliche, but like having a breakup or something, you have an
Gets
artist
it
that
out
just
of them.
Yep, that's how
pour your heart
I've wrote
one night
like
into a song.
I wrote 3 songs that are on Spotify because of heartbreaks or just
Yeah.
terrible times. And
There's something different about your art when you put your emotion into it, because like you know how sometimes like what's on the paper or canvas or on in the headphones, like people can feel or understand like where
Right.
you're coming from, and it's a lot easier to send that message or that feel that you want to feel when you're actually feeling it.
Yep,
That makes sense.
I agree because that's how I wrote 2 of my greatest songs that I just they just hit me. It's like this bittersweet melancholy, and there's no vocals, but those are the ones that for me hit the hardest every time I just put them on. Every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, this still hits. I can still go back to that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of that, wow, we've covered a lot of game here, but we still got more stuff to talk about. First of all, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
This
Thanks
is-
for having me.
Yeah, no, we've been. Oh, by the way, yeah, let's talk about this for a second. We've been wanting to have you on this thing for the longest time. We give you shout outs on this thing all the time. As
So
I was
that's
saying,
why people know me. It's
Yeah.
you guys.
because I'm always like, hey, Clarice she made this for me. Like, she
Oh
got
my
this,
gosh.
I'm always like blowing up your spot. And I'm like, hey, we always put your Instagram on there too. So yeah, we're always like, every time,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel so honored.
No, just so you know, we do talk about you quite a bit, and now we actually have you on the podcast. So this is a dream come
It's
Here
been
I
a pleasure
am.
having you on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we,
Trying.
yeah, no, you're doing great. I think the egg, yeah, let's do this.
Hey y'all, during my live, my wife seen that somebody screenshotted me with the blue wig on and put that as their profile picture. Hey bro, I appreciate that. if y'all want to take
He's making me
somebody
sweat.
else took my face and it's their profile picture. Hey, bro, what better way to support me than to put me on there? That's cool, man. Hey, man, I enjoy that. Thank y'all for the support. Look, I'm coming into puberty, y'all. Got a zit on my eye. Man, I appreciate that. When my wife told me that, it made me feel good. I was like, go ahead. Thank y'all. When I get unblocked, bro, we'll come back strong. 2 for the love, 1 for the law. Love Jesus, love yourself. Love y'all.
Peace.
I can definitely tell that ceiling fan isn't doing enough for him.
No, not at all.
It was either really hot in that room or it was a workout just for him to take that video.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. What was I going to lead with that? Oh, yeah. What do you like to do aside from art? Do you have like other passions? Like, do you like to go see movies? Do you, I don't know, like bowling? I don't know, what the heck.
I like escape rooms.
Tell me about that.
What? Really?
I love escape rooms so much.
Okay.
So much. And like now that I'm a tattoo artist and my income has changed, like I can do like usually escape rooms are something that you do like, you know, as a party every once in a while for maybe like someone's birthday, but it's a sport.
That's cool.
So you take it seriously.
It's a goal of mine to like complete every escape room in Minnesota.
Oh my God. So you're in it.
Yeah, and I've done a ton of them. I've finished all of the ones in Edina at this place called Missing Pieces. It might actually be Minneapolis. Is it Edina?
Eden Prairie.
Eden Prairie.
It's a
Eden
twist.
Prairie. So it's called Missing Pieces. I finished all of those. Finished all the ones at the Mall of America.
Right.
Finished all the ones at Trapped on Snelling.
Mm-hmm.
They had one come at Century for
What?
it was the Halloween party that Century was having.
didn't know
In the
that.
back, they had a trailer that had an escape room in it, and we did that. I did, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It was awesome.
I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, and I think my love for escape rooms started when I used to play like those flash games. Everybody's got their little flash game.
yeah,
But there's
I have
addicting
my
games,
flash games.
and con.
On Newgrounds?
Yeah, all of those.
That's my shit.
So I used to love those click escape games. I'm just a big fan of puzzle games in
That's
general.
my shit right there. We just connected in a bigger level. Do
Yeah.
you know Newgrounds, Evan?
Oh, I'm not familiar. I'm only familiar. I played a lot of Myth.
Yeah. It's similar to, essentially it's like it's an online game. You could just, you know, it's user created, which is what's mind blowing about it. Like people made that. It wasn't like a development team or like this other thing. It was just like a person just had free time and just made this thing.
That's cool.
It's like the coolest thing. What was I gonna say? Oh, Renfest had.
They did. I did it.
Okay, I didn't know.
I did the
We were-
escape room at Renfest.
We were just walking by and I'm like, oh my God, it's everywhere now.
That was the one where that you had to find the poet's pages, right?
No, we never got on. We
Oh.
just went into like or we went around Renfest, just walking around everywhere, collecting little trinkets here and there, and just getting destroyed. Like, but yeah, we never got in there, and I'm pretty sure if we did, we
It
would
was
have
very
all
hot
failed.
in
Yeah,
there. It was cool.
yeah.
But yes, escape rooms. And in my escape room career, and the reason why I was so competitive at it was because I had finished, I had completed, I had escaped every room except for one. The latest one that I did not complete, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Typically, when you go to escape rooms, they have like a bucket for you to put your personal belongings.
Yeah.
In this room, they didn't have any of that. So she was like, you can put your stuff anywhere. And I was like, okay, can I put it on this this hanger on the wall here? She
Right.
was like, sure, go ahead. So I put my stuff there. And when you put your personal items on there, then it makes you think that's not a part of it. Turns out there was something about that coat rack that
Of
we
course.
needed to complete the
Of
puzzle.
course.
And I wish she wouldn't, I wish she wouldn't have said like, oh, we would really prefer not for you to put it up there. We'd prefer you to put it like on those chairs over
Yeah,
there.
anything anywhere else, honestly. They could have mentioned anything. But
Yeah, but she didn't. She let me put my stuff on the puzzle, which deterred my thought process. But I mean, whatever. I'll take the L.
But you could always, if you were to go back there and do that, you wouldn't feel like you earned it, right? Because now you know another piece of the puzzle. Like someone told you.
Yeah,
like,
we already figured out all of the puzzle. We were towards the end of it when we couldn't figure out, like, because we eventually got to a point, because I have also been to escape rooms where not everything was there, or somebody accidentally stole a key or a piece of the puzzle.
So you have everything ready except for this one piece.
Yeah, and sometimes that one piece is what you need, and other times I have been able to get by without that piece.
Yeah.
This specific time, it was a whole like numbers and compass and direction, and we were missing the center of the whole thing. It was like a 9-piece puzzle with words and numbers and directions, and the center of it with the most words on it was missing. So we had to sit there and try and guess and try and figure it out. And then she came in and she was like, I'm sorry, you failed. You know, the final piece was under your belongings over there. And we're like, why would you let us put our belongings on the puzzle?
That's kind of disappointing.
That's ridiculous.
It is very. I even said that in my review.
Yeah, you left a little review.
Do you do reviews for each escape room you do?
No. Just that one, because I felt some type of, because she fucked up my streak. So I was like, you know, it was a cool room and all, but I really wish she wouldn't have let me put my belongings on the puzzle. And like typically when I have like poor experiences with things, I let it go, because we're human and it's not perfect. But like, she fucked up my streak, so
Jesus, that's mad. Yeah, I'd feel that. I definitely feel that.
It's all right, she's fine.
Yeah, she's not hurt. She's comfortably at her home.
Well, we just kind of told her, you know, we made it known to her. We were like, hey, like, kind of wish you didn't let us put our stuff on the puzzle. And she was like, you're right, I will be more assertive next time. And I was like, yeah, be more assertive with the next people.
Yeah. Me and Evan tried an escape room together. What was it? Last Halloween.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, with Steph and Hensley. Yeah,
we got really close, but
yeah, we were like this close, but at the time it was just like, yeah, you're right. There's like, at the beginning it feels like, oh, you could definitely, like, if you don't have this one piece, you could still figure out to get to the next room. It's not till like there's a point, like you were saying, that it gets really important, like, oh, if I don't have this specific piece, and you don't have time to go all the way back to figure that out. But in the beginning I feel like, oh yeah, we didn't even solve like the first puzzle. We just like guessed at the next thing. We just went in.
Yeah, we were just able to keep plugging through, but disappointing when there's missing pieces or
Yep, it happened at like Trapped. I was doing a puzzle that had like 100 post-it notes, and whoever set the game up forgot to put like 1 or 2 post-it notes in there.
Dang.
And the number of post-it notes was important to the puzzle itself. So when we were like, we're trying this combination, it's not working, and she's like, oh, it looks like you're missing a post-it note. Like, here's the actual code. So we put the code in, and then when the game finished, we searched that room far and wide for that post-it note, just for her to tell us like, oh, like, it just wasn't in the room. It wasn't in the setup. Like, I have it right here in my hand.
It's critical to have those to be able to finish it. It's like,
you monster.
Yeah, and I get it. We're all human. It's just like,
this little
like,
thing.
you have one job.
You couldn't do this one thing. Wow. But no, escape rooms are not my thing. I tried.
You're not into the puzzle stuff?
I love puzzles. Besides,
Is it the time constraint?
It's just the people that I'm with. Like, if it's just me and Evan, I feel like we can do it.
Yeah.
You know, because like me and him have like this patience meter where like he knows when I'm messing around, or he knows me pretty well. We're like, if I'm gonna turn on like it's time to go. Like, you know, like we're very in sync, but it depends on the people that we go with, because when we went with Hensley and Steph, it's like there's so much masculinity in that room, and then you have Steph, it's like, oh, I think it's this little thing over here. It's like, what did you say before?
I know people don't like doing escape rooms with me, because they're like, well, it's not fun doing it with Clarice because she just like solves all the puzzles.
Well, that's fine. It's more of the fact of like the communication part of it. Like,
yeah, and that part is extremely important. Just like shouting out the things that you find, shouting out the things that you need. Like, that's all important. Working as a team. That's
why, like, for me, like, I love puzzles. Like chess. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Chess is cool.
You know, I have like an
chess.
ancient Chinese chess set. It's in my house somewhere. I gotta figure it out. Sudoku. I'm always a huge thing.
I like Sudokus.
Yep.
Me and my mom used to wake up in the morning, print out the daily Sudoku, and like race.
Yep. I love it.
That's cool.
That's one of my favorite things. And apart from that, obviously, like, what was it? Soccer. I love to play soccer. I like to try to be active as much as possible. But yeah, I love puzzles. But video games, obviously, as well. Like, that's like,
Same.
I like to put stuff into that.
Yeah,
as well.
same.
Yeah. And what about for you, my guy? What do you got?
I've definitely fell out of video games recently, like this past year or two.
Yo.
But I guess music's been pretty much a driving passion, and I want to have more time. Right now, I've actually started reading more, or trying to read more. And I picked up this book that I saw at my girlfriend's place. It was The Tao of Pooh, like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting book. It's just like, I believe the word means like the way of life or something.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating concepts, and that's what I want to just learn more about. Not for the sake of knowledge, but just to better my life and gathering more experiences. And so I hated reading growing up, and that's kind of a growing passion to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
But-
kind of where I'm at as well. Like, I want, going back to like where we were talking about, I want to grow more as a person because I just don't have father figures. I don't have, my mother's in Texas at the moment, and my family's very estranged, where I wish that I had people to guide me, so I have to figure all of this stuff out. And it's more of like a grueling task, but I always hate the fact that I figure something out and someone else comes out randomly like, oh, you should have done this. It's like, where were you like a day ago? That's my life. That's literally my life.
Yeah. But at least you're like taking what they're saying like into consideration. Like there's stubborn people out there where people try and tell them like, hey, I've had this experience before, so I'm using my wisdom to try and guide you. And they're like, nonsense, you don't know me, you don't know what I'm talking about, this doesn't apply to you in any way. And then once shit goes south for them, then they're like, oh, I do faintly remember somebody like telling me like this could have been avoided.
Exactly. Yes.
That's definitely the case with my dad. He'll tell me shit, and sometimes I don't want to listen. But
yeah, and I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta let people figure it out for themselves.
Yeah.
definitely.
There's a lot. I mean, for me, there was just a lot of points where like I asked. There's a lot of things I needed, and help that I need, like that I wish I would have gotten. But at the end of the day, yeah, like I figured everything out. But if I just had a helping hand, I knew I would have been in a better place.
Yeah.
But that's just circumstantial, all this kind of stuff. For sure, we all have to grow as people, and for me, like I said, all I try to do is learn as much as possible in one day.
I know.
And go back to this.
It's so hard though, because we only have so many years on this planet, and we can't be experts at everything.
That's why I call it the master of one philosophy.
Making the most of it.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly. That's it. That's it right there. Just be content with yourself.
Dope.
Yeah. Let's move on to this other clip real quick. We're almost at the time, by the way. We're getting very close. Yeah. I feel like we could have gone on for hours, honestly.
I thought you said we were going till 1 a.m.
Yes.
It's only 11.
Yes, it's true. And tomorrow is actually a half day for me. I'm only just picking up materials, and then that's kind of it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're not gonna sleep.
I'm not gonna sleep.
I know you're not.
I can't. You know how hard it is to try to sleep like throughout the day? It's like,
no. I just woke up from a 3-hour nap. Sleep is my best friend.
Yeah.
So I can't relate. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
the
hard.
only time I can relate is when like I'm exhausted and I know I have a drawing that I have to do tomorrow, but I convince myself like I can do it in the morning. So I'm laying in bed like a vampire in their coffin, staring like I have a drawing I need to do. There's a drawing I need to do.
Right.
Like I should just probably do it. And then I get up and I'm up till 3 a.m. doing it.
I'm the same way. Like I would just put up like a YouTube video or something, like after a meeting, I would just put up a YouTube video, or like I would watch like a show. And like the second episode would come in, or the second thing would come up. I'm like, I have to do this thing. I need to get off this now. But I'm like
engulfed.
But then you get that satisfaction of like,
That's
okay, I couldn't sleep. I got up and did it. Finished the project.
Yep.
Okay, it's 5 in the morning. All right, now I can get some sleep.
And that's how it's been for the last couple days. Rolling
Did
in
you
the
have that
deep.
with some of your art? You're like, oh, I finished the project for a client tomorrow. Now I can get some sleep.
And it's 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I have to be up at like 9 for my first appointment. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just tomorrow's my half day, so I get to. There's a couple things I got to figure out musically, but yeah, I'm hitting the studio back and just starting to pursue my stuff as much as possible. Oh, this is what I was going to tell you. I'm making this transition where this is my last year running my business.
Okay.
I want to. I feel like I said, I'm one of these people that just knows what they're meant to do, and I know what I have to do. And I know that's what's going to make me happy. Even if it's not going to make me money, I don't care. I want to start doing what I want to be doing.
You got a little bucket list?
Yes.
Go ahead then.
Yeah. for right now, it's just getting back into this. Like, it starts with this, right?
Yeah, I really like that you have a book up. I need to do that.
It's got a little stand for anything. Honestly, it's really cool. I got a whole thing, but for like an angled desk, obviously, like because it's angled, or else like anything else would just fall. Anyway, back to the thing. Yeah, I'm trying to transition to this. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Is like, for you as a tattoo artist, do you still have the freedom? Well, we kind of already hinted about this already in the beginning of the podcast. The freedom to still express yourself or do the things that you want to be doing aside from tattooing people, aside from your job.
Yeah, when I make time for it.
Right.
Do you allot enough time for yourself, do you feel?
Yeah, I only need 2 days to get myself together before I go back into it. But tattooing has, like, seasons. Like, so, especially, like, this season was really weird because usually, like, tax season is our busiest season when you're booked all the time.
Right.
And during the winter time when people have to think about Christmas, and especially now because, like, stimulus checks are running out and unemployment is, like, people are getting off of unemployment and starting jobs where they're not sure what their income is going to look like.
Right.
So I have a lot more reschedules and cancels.
Of course.
Which, I mean, it's not hard for me to get somebody in to do something smaller, but it also gives me time to, like, draw for myself.
Right.
So, like, lately for myself, I've been very fascinated with Japanese art.
Oh, see?
and-
That's my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Feel it?
Yeah.
And specifically, I was wondering why, like, in Japanese art, why we like to use the Hanya mask so much. So I was reading an article, and I discovered that there's a ton of other masks than just, like, the Hanya. So I've been, like, creating a flash sheet based on, like, the masks that I've been, like, studying and looking at.
That's awesome.
And
Yep.
I've also been thinking about, I would really like to create an illusions flash sheet because I'm really into, like, illusions, like hexagons, like breaking away and then a vision underneath.
That's
or,
what's up. Yep.
You know,
yep. That's my stuff.
that hole where you put and it looks like it's actually going to a hole. I wanted to try and double vision stuff, like 3D. I want to try stuff like that. And I also want to make a high contrast sheet where I play with like really brightly colored like fruits and possibly vegetables in front of solid black shapes to see how much I can make that color pop.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because that's what people want when they ask me for tattoos is they're like, I want for it to pop. I want it to be noticeable. And I'm like, well, what better way than to just put a bunch of bright colors on you and black the rest of it behind out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's tons of different ways to do that, but that's awesome that you're taking this step, or like, you know, there's this mentality of like that this is what you want to do, and you make time, like you said, to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you ever feel, so you haven't felt like overwhelmed or like stressed that like, I don't have any time to do what I want to do, and like I'm just so booked up.
Nope.
Dang.
No, I don't. Like I said, being booked up is a good problem because I could either be a really like busy artist who's booked out for a couple months, or I could have the frustration of sitting around at the shop and having nobody to work on. Like, I would rather be busy than not busy.
Right.
And I still, like, have time for myself. Like, I work a lot, but, like, those 2 days, like, they do wonders. You could get a lot done in 2 days.
Yeah, and that's why for me it's like I don't have 2 days. Even on the weekends I'm always doing something. Like
I know.
I try to just one day in the week is enough.
Yeah.
You know, just one.
And I used to be that way too. Like when I was first apprenticing, and especially that first year of tattooing, because I didn't want to be garbage, I was working 7 days a week all day, like from before the shop opened till after it closed, just because I wanted to be decent. Like when I started, I was a flaming hot dumpster full of AIDS and garbage and dead. And now I'm just like a once-used recycling bin.
What a perfect analogy. Yeah. That's funny.
I feel like you're much more than that. But in any case,
I mean, an artist's worst enemy is themselves. So, I mean, you got to stay humble if you want to grow.
That.
Yeah.
yes. I'm the same.
Nice.
I'm like I call myself the cockroach like every night before I go to sleep.
Yeah, you're not worth it.
Not
You're not
necessarily
worthy.
healthy, but-
I used to say whenever I did a tattoo that like the client was happy with, but I wasn't, I'd like ball up in my chair and I'd sit against the wall and I'd be like, I suck. I'm garbage. I don't even deserve to be a tattoo artist. My mentor used to text me every night, and he'd call me because he wanted me to know how serious he was. He was like, "You need to relax. Like, you're doing just fine. You need to stop being so hard on yourself. Like, it's sad."
You're bumming everybody out.
It's relatable though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I said, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about, which we'll talk about after. But like, as soon, when I got my first tattoo with you, you mentioned like, why don't I do this? Why don't I go into the tattoo thing? And like you said, I could have my own art space. I can have, well, essentially my own time where I can schedule clients, more control over creativity, more expressing myself, and being able to get closer to my step of my goals that I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like possibly this might be the thing, but I don't know. Like, I always thought it's like, just start doing the things that you love and doors will open.
Absolutely.
And for me, like, there's to a point, but at a certain point, there's like only so many people or so many things of doors that opened for you, and now you just got to take a leap.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and I mean, even though like I am doing what I want to do, I don't have like as much freedom as you might feel that I have, because yes, people want to see my spin on it, but I mean, in all honesty, when people come into the shop and they're like, "You just do what you want to do," they're lying.
Yeah. No, it's because it's part of human nature, because they're like, well, yeah, put your own spin on it. Like I said, the whale. Like, yeah, I want a cute little whale right here. It's like, okay, no, I want it blue. All right. No, I want it to go all the way around. Okay, so you do have an idea. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me like so many times where
Yep.
people come in and they're like, what do you want to do? I don't care what we do. I just want a tattoo. And I'm like, okay, well, I want a skull. I want to do a skull with its mouth wide open, and I want big, beautiful flowers blooming front. And they're like, oh, I don't like skulls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so you don't want to do like what I want to do? And they're like, oh,
Right.
I guess not. Well, now that you mention it, I want lilies and I want butterflies.
It's like,
And I'm like, oh, so you have an opinion. Like,
Yeah.
I have friends that are tattoo artists, and they're like, if people walk into the shop and tell you, I don't, you decide what I want, don't take that for an answer, because it'll be a huge waste of time.
right.
Huge, huge, huge waste of your time.
So how do you usually tackle that?
I try and consult with them, like, what kind of things do you like?
Right.
What's have you seen any reference photos of things that like kind of inspired you to like do this?
Right.
And that's when they start pulling stuff out. Like, and I
Absolutely.
don't know if it's because they're so excited that, oh my gosh, I'm really talking to an artist. This plan's actually falling into place,
Yeah.
that they
It moves so fast. Yeah.
forget, like, oh, I have reference photos. Oh, I have ideas. I have things that I want you to
Right.
do. But, when they, instead of saying it, they just say, like, what do you want to do? And
Exactly.
I'm like, well, I don't know. What do you want to do?
And it comes to the human nature of spontaneity. Like, yes, obviously, like, if I can go get a tattoo, like, I'm not that kind of person. I like to plan things out as much as I can, right? Like, when I got this one, the one that you did for me here, I knew exactly what I wanted, and this is something that, like, it means a lot to me. And, like, this is Legend of Zelda, obviously. I love Legend of Zelda, so, like, why not? It's just about, like, I already figured out what I want. Now it's just where do I put it, and land it right there.
Yeah.
But-
By the way, if you want me to make it more blue, I have like different inks. We could play with it some more if you want. I know
For
that
sure.
you've appreciated the way that it looks, but I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
if
no,
you
of
want
course, yeah.
If you want it to be blue,
Yes, of course.
bluer.
That's something we can definitely work on later on. But like whenever that's something we'll talk about later about getting
Oh, that's right.
The other
you
thing
told me
stuff.
what you wanted to do.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
down for it.
exactly. So I'm so excited for what's gonna be happening here.
Do we have any closing thoughts, I guess?
Yeah, I got one last video. First of all, yes, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
This
for
has been
having
It's
amazing.
been
me.
very awesome having you.
Yeah,
It's an honor.
yeah. This is probably one of the best podcasts we've ever done. Anything you want to promote or shout out for anything?
Promote?
Or shout out, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Like Mickey D's
Oh,
number
I
one.
want to promote my brother.
Yo.
Hey.
Come on up here, show your face.
Oh yeah. Right there. Yeah. That's what's up.
He's a great all-around person. He used to rap, do some music, play basketball. So if you catch him on the streets, like, say what's up.
Yeah, I'll get your. Do you have Instagram stuff like that?
Yeah.
I'll-
Merch.
yeah.
_merch.
Awesome. I'll get all that stuff here for you in a second. Fantastic. Apart from that, do you got anything, guy?
No, it's just been wonderful having you, talk to you about art and all this stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Oh yeah. I will actually put a timestamp on there so that like she knows exactly where to go.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of more people that I support, but I'm so sorry. I just can't. My mind is blanking right now.
Oh, this is good. This actually works pretty good. Now I think, whoops, I think it's this one. I want to say it's this one. Yeah.
That's me. Where'd you find this video?
That's a
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like after I've convinced the hearing officer to like veto my speeding ticket.
What a move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What a game. All right, guys, that's been our time. Adios, goodbye, and sayonara.
Thank you.
Yeah, avida se.